Well, good evening, race fans, drivers, team members, and families, and welcome to the season finale here at the Esports Masters League. This is the PSF2 division. We start 1 hour before the F1 division, of course, and we're here in the Abu Dhabi paddock, ready to get underway. But I'm very pleased to say that we're going to start the proceedings with a bit of a pre-show, and we're going to have a chat with Xenon. Xenon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi. How are you?
Doing good and excited for the race for sure. You were telling me before you're feeling a little bit stressed. It's all the pressure on today.
Yeah, for sure. I think my two drivers will be more stressed than I am actually, but I hope they'll do well.
So tell me a little bit about the team manager engineer role. How do you manage it? What are you using at your disposal, and how are you coaching the drivers through a race?
So actually, I'm the EU captain.
Yep.
So I have a manager ahead of me, and I'm also an engineer and a driver for LDL. I didn't race that much in EML this season. I think I only raced in Austin for, as I remember. So yeah, we tried a lot of strategies for this race.
Right.
We tried to optimize everything we could with our different tools that we have, and I hope we'll make the good choice at the right moments tonight.
Absolutely. It's what plays into effect with well, firstly with the season finale, and secondly with this actual Abu Dhabi circuit. What are the factors that are most important for you?
I think getting a good grid position is the most important, so
Yep.
we can make our strategy work. I think if we start both in the top five, it it is the best. But of course, if we start 1 and 2, we will we will be absolutely happy. But I think we need at least to be both in the top five to make our strategy work tonight.
Okay.
So I think it's the most important because it could be easy to overtake in Abu Dhabi, but you can't gain a lot of places easily and quickly here. So
Yeah. It's one at a time, or most sort of two opportunities a lap, really, to make those
yeah,
moves.
and
It's a difficult one.
you have to burn your battery to do it. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah,
So
you really
tonight you've
can't
got
overtake.
representing LDL, you've got Nico, who is actually heading the calculations for the driver standings as well. Not that we don't tend to count the driver standings very much here because drivers swap in and out, but Nico has been by far and away the top driver of the whole season so far. But you've also got Oni, who is representing the team. How did you go about making the decision as to which drivers you were going to put in today?
Actually, we had an important race in Abu Dhabi like 3 months ago,
Yep.
and Nico and Oni raced there ahead with me and Astro, and Astro left the team, so he wasn't going to race tonight. And I was the least. I was not feeling really well on the track, so I think it was a great choice to do with them. Obviously, Nico is our best driver and best qualifier, so we needed him to
Yeah.
to make our strategy work. And I think Oni is one of the most reliable driver we have, and he actually loves Abu Dhabi, so I think it was quite an easy choice at the end.
Within the team, within LDL, is there a clear team leader then? I mean, Nico, it sounds like Nico is the best or the fastest. Is that how things are kind of structured? You have a dedicated number one, or do you take every race on its merit?
I think we take every race on its merits. We actually made some of we every for every race we do a little question to everybody if they are available first,
Yeah.
and then if they like the circuit and if they are good, and we need them to send some lap times to compare themselves with the others to know if they are good, if they are quick or
Yeah.
not, and if they aren't quick to improve themselves, even if they don't race at the end. And yeah, obviously Nico is our fastest driver. But
Yeah.
we also do by the fact that like he didn't race in Austin because he doesn't like the track and he's not the quickest in Austin,
Okay.
for instance. So and
Interesting.
also we have to manage the fact that 1 week out of two we have the most important French championship at 8 p.m. So we have to race with 4 drivers, 2 at the ML and 2 at the French championship. So we have to manage this
Yes.
at the same time.
And is Nico ineligible for that? Is that why he's been in this seat so often? Because he's a Belgian.
Yeah, actually, he wasn't available for the first 3 races. That's why he raced so much in EML.
Got it. Got
And
it.
that, for instance, I didn't race that much in EML because I was doing most of the French Championship races. So that's why he did most of the races. Because at the same time, the French Championship tracks were not his best. Like there was Shanghai that he doesn't like at all.
Yeah.
So it was
So
quite easy to manage at the end.
So the LDL team, they have been very successful. I mean, everywhere, but I mean, particularly in this league, throughout the league, with the exception of the previous round, when we went into the previous round, round 9, you were in on top of the championship the whole time. How has that affected the team's mentality? If it has, going through that process, they're now no longer at the top. They're now chasing for victory. How does that affect the drivers or the team dynamic, do you think?
I don't think it affected us that much because we have been quite unlucky during all season. Like, for instance, I lost a quite easy podium at Austin,
Hmm.
where I was pushed off. We got disadvantaged by safety cars many times in the season. For instance, in Baku, or I don't remember others. So I don't think it really impacted us the last 2 races. It was
Okay.
more the season that was highs and downs, ups and downs, and we had to manage this.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about the team LDL. What did the team stand for? I know they've just celebrated their second anniversary,
Yeah.
but what do the team stand for? And what's it like being part of the team?
So LDL stands for Ligue des Légendes, or in English, League of Legends. Wow. So like the game, lol.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been our second anniversary a few months ago. The most important things about us is that we are kind of part of family. We're all friends, and that's the most important. You can't really join LDL if you're not one of our friends or
Hmm.
if we don't know you. Um, that's the most important. We don't do things for money or something like that.
Yep.
We only do it because we're friends and we like the game. Obviously, we want to win because it's at the end we think we have the level for competing for great places
Yep.
and win some championships. We are one of the most we are we are one of the best French team on inter teams,
Hmm.
whether it's in on French inter teams or in European championships. So obviously we want to win, but at the end we do it because we are friends and we like the game.
Absolutely. That's all. That's the best situation, and obviously it's producing some great results. Well, we're going to wish you luck. Bon chance tonight. We want a really good fight. We want to see the two top teams at the top, and I'm sure your target is 1-2. Correct?
Obviously,
I think, as far as I know, that's the only way you can guarantee that you will win the championship if you finish 1 and 2. But yeah, I'm sure that you guys will be successful today, and hopefully we'll have a really fair race. How do you rate your opponents tonight, particularly Exosteer?
um, obviously they have two great drivers. I hope they won't be that as good as they are for the rest of as good as they were for the rest of the season, but we'll see.
Absolutely, we will see. We're going to get down to the trackside shortly. I know you've got plenty to do. You've got drivers to talk to, telemetry to follow, I'm sure, and the countdown timer is on. Zenon, thank you so much for talking to us. Bon chance tonight, and hopefully we will get some results at the end of this.
Thank you, and I hope I will win this.
Good stuff. Great to talk to you. Thank you so much to LDL for providing Xenon for tonight's show, and I can welcome everybody properly now. Welcome one and all. Welcome to James Head, to Basmati's Rissi, and to everybody else who is joining us. If you haven't said hello yet, where's your manners? Join in, say hello, and tell me who you're here to cheer on. This is Webbo here. Here for my final scheduled race of the Esports Masters League PSF2 at this current time, and I'm looking forward to the culmination of a championship. Let's get on though and talk to you a little bit about those all-important standings. I've been talking mostly as if it's a two-horse race because two teams are very much at the top of the championship. Exastea are on 308 points, only 9 ahead of LDL Esports, managed by Xenon that we were just talking to. And for me, that means that the only result that LDL can win this championship within their power is a 1-2 to guarantee it. And then we're doing some kind of frantic, crazy mathematics that I won't pretend to be able to do. So I'm trying to get some support for some live points calculations through the race. We've got Grand Track 10 still mathematically in with a shout, though. They're only 34 points behind. Now, they would need a DNF from Exastea, double DNF from Exastea, and a 1-2 themselves, but it is still possible. They could also very successfully finish second, and that will be really important to the team. Team Rising Lions, I think, are now out of contention. They're in fourth position, somewhat on their own on 253. And Team GeForce just a few points behind, 4 points behind. And this is the kind of Formula 2 section that we've got. And then there's a big gap to the rest of the field, over 100 points separating the top 5 and the bottom 5. Sixth place, RVL Esports have 114 points. QSL have 112. We have 106 for LRN. In ninth place, we have Deluxe Esports on 78 and Team ESRL on 64 at the tail of the standings. So let's get you trackside. Maxence is back. Xenon is back to enjoy the show with us. Hopefully he'll be making sure that his drivers are well cared for and just popping into the chat from time to time. I'm sure he will. And we've got Nordic Ninja out on the track first for Team Rising Lions. I want to say first. I think that was first, and he's going to be able to take us around the first flying lap here. Tell me who you're cheering for. Tell me your predictions for qualifying, both the pole position time and, of course, the actual pole time. What are we going to get tonight? By how much are these drivers going to raise each other's games and put on a good show for us? Here is Nordic Ninja coming through the Latifi corner. I will always call it that. And we go through the final two corners, which are now numbered 15 and 16, of course. Past the pit lane entry on the right. And then off we go for a flying lap in night conditions here at the Abu Dhabi circuit, the Yas Marina circuit. Drop a couple of gears down into turn 1. And then it's about picking a good, clean line through the next 3. And just knowing your way around the circuit really well, because those corners are blind crests, down to a really big stop on the newly profiled turn number 5 before then, of course, you want the slingshot out of this corner. And as Zenon was explaining, if you want to make an overtake going down this straight, you're going to have to burn quite a lot of electrical energy, and then that's going to take time to recover, so you don't want a wasted opportunity. Biggest stop on the track is down into what we're calling now number 6 and into through number 7. Open the DRS for a long banana straight. It's full throttle, but it is slightly curved of turn 8 before going into the turn 9, which I would love to see fully banked like a Hugenholtz, more open corner, but unfortunately it's not the case. Then we go into the hotel section of turns 10, 11, a big stop into turn 12. You can easily lock a tyre through 12 into 13 and 14. Simple left-hand 90 degrees. That's the Latifi corner of 14 again. And then we're back around the track. It is a very quick lap here now that we have eliminated a couple of corners. really tight on the exit line there from Nordic Ninja, and he puts in a 1:21.815. All important, of course. I'm going to try and give plenty of airtime to everybody, but it is super important that we watch those championship contenders, the EXT and the LDL team today. A 1:22.0 is a little bit away from where YCN would like to have put the car on his banker lap. We've got Paul Parra in third position, a 22.4, and we've got Lucas just on a flyer at the moment, just started his flying lap. Let's try and find a driver about to finish their flying lap, shall we? As we've got Nico, as I said, he is the fastest driver, best finisher of the season so far. Where is Oni at the moment? Well, he's going down, and he's actually put the medium tyres on. Namsko goes fastest on a 1:21.530, 3/10 of a second clear of Nordic Ninja, just underlining quite what a great job he's doing to put that kind of gap on Nordic Ninja at this stage. And everybody is playing quite nicely. Here is Tigrex, who goes fifth fastest on a 22.659 to Mikas Koji on a 22.678. And we see a new fast time come in from Pablo. Pablo goes into position number 5 because Boya straight in at third place on a 21.9. So 3 drivers in the 21s. We've got Lucas here going under the multicolour lit hotel and bridge section through Latifi, appropriately enough, in the Williams. And it's very easy to invalidate your lap around here as well. So the drivers will be being very, very careful of that as they go over the line. Something to build on, a 22.233 from Lucas. He's into 5th position. So the current standings, Namsko, Nordic Ninja, Boya. Nordic Ninja managed to get that 2nd position there. He's back in the pits though. And then we've got YCN down there as well. GT10's Acid is next. He's just trying to rotate the car using the throttle through the final corner, and GT10 go 3rd and 7th provisionally with Acid. Oni back into the pits after a installation lap. I hope that doesn't mean there's any kind of penalty. There was only one penalty applied, and it was to a non-championship contender following last race. In fact, we had a 5-second penalty removed from one of the drivers. RVL's Killer Storm goes into 13th position, and we've just got times to come from Wazaste and Jeroen so far. Wazaste is quite early in his lap. Jeroen just finishing off. Got a yellow flag on the circuit, just a driver going slowly and off circuit for a moment there, just to distract him a little, potentially going into the pits. Jeroen, a 1:23.7, and he's used the battery, so that was a competitive attempt from Jeroen, but it didn't quite work out for him. Wazaste, I'm going to try and get that name right. Wazazate. It's a bit beyond Webbo tonight, it seems, as he's now next up. We've got an outlap, though, for Nordic Ninja. He's out on track again as Wazaste tries to find his way through turn number 9. There is that turn 12. Really tricky braking whilst still coming off the throttle. Usually, especially in qualifying, you can start to apply a little bit of brake activity while the car is still turning and the revs are still dropping, but it's a little on the tricky side. Wazaste goes 16th, just opposing Jeroen at this stage. LDL is, Oni is on an outlap for LDL. And where is he? He's quite early in the lap. He's way behind Nordic Ninja, but won't be for long because Nordic Ninja just keeping the car pretty slow right now. Soft tyres, new soft tyres, looking for a gap here. I don't know if he's looking for his teammate on the track, but I don't think he's going to be trying to obtain a tow by any means. I think that's outlawed here this season. There was a question as to whether that should be allowed, I believe, for the next season. Yeah, into the hotel section then for Nordic Ninja. I'll be hoping those tyres, I'm sure that given the body language of the car, I'm sure the tyres are absolutely ready and where he wants them to be. Remember, RLS, GT10, fighting for 2nd, 3rd, 4th positions in the championship, and hoping to play the spoiler here and not leave it all to LDL and EXT. Well, Oni is about to start his lap. We haven't seen him racing yet. He's just past Nordic Ninja, and they're kind of playing a few games here, just trying to get a nice gap and build the temperature, get underway, look for a gap, hope nobody comes out of the pits here in front of us on board with Oni, and we'll just ride with him for a few corners, see him into the first sector, and then I want to check out Nordic Ninja's time as well. So looking for that first sector indicator, which is right there, 17.3. Nordic Ninja, can he improve? He's actually not quicker than he was on the previous lap. LDL's Oni picking up a nice slipstream here. Looks like that is from his teammate, is it? Yes, indeed. Fantastic coordination from both of them. I'm sure Oni will be tasked with giving the return favour there to his teammate Nico, whose fastest lap so far only a 1:22.4, and we heard from Xenon nothing but a absolute lockout on the front row, really, or at least both cars in the top 5 is where they want to be starting the race, because their strategy will not work, he says, if they start outside the top 5. Interesting tactics, interesting simulations that the drivers have been going through to try and extrapolate all the possible issues, but they still have to be on their toes here, because the thing you can't predict is everybody else's strategy and, of course, safety cars. LDL's Only goes into third position behind Nordic Ninja and Namsco. What of Nordic Ninja on his final sector? A hell of a final sector, and he clears up into provisional pole position. Tremendous stuff from Nordic Ninja, who was nowhere in the first 2 sectors, saved it all for the end. Does that mean potentially Nordic Ninja is running a higher downforce setting where the setup would absolutely be much better in that final sector if you do have a higher drag setup? Namsco then, for the Alpha Tauri team, will now be trying to position the car in amongst those championship favourites. And of course, it's a great place to be fighting here with EXT and LDL, but also with Nordic Ninja right there. Namsco, 14 thousandths of a second faster so far through Sector 1. And that's exactly what he wants. He needs to be building that. He's got almost just 2 thousandths of a second to find to get onto the provisional pole position. It could not be much closer at the top here as he brakes heavily down into turn 6. Looking for some good rotation at slow speed through turn 6. Set up for turn 7. Get yourself out of that corner, out of the turning and accelerating phase as quickly as possible as the boss maze drops by. And here he is then, Namsco, and now he's clear. If he can string together a similar final sector to what he's done before, he should be on provisional pole position. But we know Nordic Ninja's final sector was pretty special, so it's going to take quite the leap. Oliver has retired from the session and had an accident somewhere, I think. So has Paul Para. I wonder if both drivers have come together at all. But let's keep our eyes then on the prize here for the pole position gunning. Here goes Namsco, takes pole position provisionally once again, and again had a fantastic final sector. So advantage EXT in the championship hunt at the moment, as Nico has got himself into 4th position, only down into 8th right now, as the GT10 cars by Acid and Boyer have gone 5th and 6th, with Lucas in 7th position. Let's try and find you, shall we? A driver going at great speed, as Mays can barely look here at the trophy that is on offer. Chowski is 1.5 tenths faster than he's been before through this sector. I think most everybody else now has set their second times and is trying to get themselves into the pits. Looks like a straightforward 3-stint attempt here from the drivers. How early or late do you dare go out? Because the margins are so tight, you want every degree of track evolution through the corners. Here comes Chowski. He's gone 4 thousandths of a second only faster and didn't manage to move up in the order. Then we have got Jeroen. Appreciate that from the boss there, says Mays, but very kind of you. As Jeroen then using the DRS once again. And actually, I think he's probably done enough on this lap. He's still down in 18th position, and with plenty of work to do. He's only got 2 thousandths of a second to find to lift himself off the ignominy of the rearmost driver on the grid. But Paul Para and Olivier Oliver, excuse me, too many French people. I keep saying French words when I shouldn't. Oliver for Rising Lions there in 12th position, and Paul Parra in 11th. They can't defend those positions as into the pits comes Jeroen. I must talk about the pit lane as well here today, because the pit lane exit is going to be pretty important for the drivers. Nordic Ninja's gone out there onto the track onto a nice clear track here, but I anticipate he will be crawling along once he's got his new soft tyres ready. I think he'll be crawling along in the final sector, because he doesn't really want to start this final lap too early, unless he's decided to do 2 final laps to get underway and do a charge lap here at speed. Get those tyres absolutely cooking. And Nordic Ninja then rear light flashing at the moment, and looking to try and get himself into a good position. You can catch traffic, and of course if you go ahead and catch traffic into this final hotel section, we are going to have some difficulties getting everybody some nice qualifying room. In an ideal world, of course, everyone would have perfect track conditions, like a one-shot qualifying opportunity every single time they went out. Clear track, perfect temperatures. How is Nordic Ninja feeling here? We'll keep an eye on his telemetry and see if he starts to mash the electrical deployment. If he does, then he's probably on a fast lap attempt, and maybe he'll give it a go in the first sector. I think he is using a little bit of his ERS. So heading down towards the end of the first sector already, and he's already up. Amazing stuff from Nordic Ninja. But of course, this track, you do need to leave tyres for the end of your qualifying opportunity. So that is going to be in his mind here. Don't treat the tyres too badly in the middle sector of the lap, but you need that top speed as well. Braking heavily down into turn 6. EXT car in front, the Alpha Tauri, will be wary here that he doesn't get in the way of anybody. We don't want to pick up any penalties, as Nordic Ninja then, with confidence, I think at the moment, trying to tackle this lap nicely. He's lost time in the middle sector. I don't think that was as a result of of the EXT car around him, but I will wait to hear differently from the Rising Lions team if he feels that's the case. Perhaps a little bit of understeer as he approached Latifi, but I think he's got enough time in his pocket here, and hopefully enough fuel to go back around for another time. But he hasn't got a lot of ERS, so it'll have to be twice more if he can, and I don't think that's going to happen now. 1 minute 40 on the clock. He will, at full speed, make it all the way round, but there will be cars running in slower laps in traffic, so it's a very tight line. Oni is up on his time so far. He needs a big climb, though, to get himself into the targeted top 5, let alone the front row, that the now chasing team of LDL in the championship need to try and position themselves. P7 with potentially the final lap now completed for Oni. P7 is not on the wish list for the team boss Xenon, so some frantic recalculations of strategy will need to be actioned. YCN is up on his previous best time through sector 1, but not by a huge distance. Maze can barely watch. I don't know why you tune in, Maze. You're always sending these peering through fingers, can't watch emojis. As YCN then down towards the end of the middle sector, and now he's gained time. Again, that could indicate that he has got for a racy top speed setup here. 1/10 of a second up on his previous time. That puts him near or thereabouts on the hunt for the pole position or the front row. Lots of oversteer into Latifi for YCN. Has he overcooked the tyres? Are they letting go on him as he reaches the line? It's second place. It's a 1-2 for the championship leading EXT team at the moment, with Namsco on track, and Namsco going faster as well. Could they do the dream result here for the team and actually get themselves a lockout front row for those championship leading EXT cars? Where are LDL at the moment? I think Nico is coming up to finish his lap, as Namsco is 1/10 of a second faster than even he has gone before. I'm keeping my eye out for, I think, potentially Nico is approaching live. Nico will not go better than 4th. So the hunting championship contenders who have led the championship up until the penultimate round, LDL will start no better than 4th and 7th. Namsco, to underline the pace of the EXT team at the moment, sprints for the line. It's even faster. It's a 121.261 for Namsco. EXT right now have the front row lockout and a rival in between them and EXT. GT10's Acid, though, also going quickly. His teammate has locked into 6th position or worse. So what can Acid do here as he's looking for some good grip under the bridge through Latifi, running it wide, and it looks like he's still got some good rear grip on the car. Final corner to go for Acid. Better than 7th, perhaps? Yes, 5th place for Acid. That makes it a 5-7 for Team GT10. Killer Storm goes into the pits. Jeroen has retired, so has Polpara, Oliver, and Tigrex. Your leader, your front row will be all EXT. Namsco on top, a 121.261. I mean, 0.2 of a second is huge in the Esports Masters League level. Even though we're talking about F2 here, Namsco and YCN and the front row couldn't wish for a better start, but there's a long race still to come. What an absolute show-stopping qualifying we have had, and hopefully we will go for a fantastic race as well. My apologies in advance for poor camera work at the start. Unfortunately, we have to make sure we catch the action, but the cameras that they give us for the race starts are absolutely appalling trackside. It is Namsco then on top. Once again here, a 121.261, 0.2 of a second clear of even his teammate, YCN. EXT lockout on the front row. Nordic Ninja for Rising Lions puts the team into 3rd position with Nico in 4th. We've got Acid in 5th, Lucas in 6th. Then comes Boya and LDL's Oni. LDL starting 4th and 8th and needing a 1-2 as a main aiming point. Pablo and Killer Storm 9th and 10th. Mikas Kirkji in 11th with Polpara in 12th. Choski, Solta, Isata, Oliver, Tigrex, Wazaste, and Jeroen are your 18 drivers qualifying for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix season finale here for the Esports Masters League PSF2. It's the 6th series, and we have had quite an incredible 9 races up to this point to decide your Season 6 F2 champions. The crowd are up for it. I hope everyone watching is up for it too. And I hope I've got some fantastic mathematicians here to help me with some live points calculations. Of course, all results will be pending any stewards' inquiries later, so everything will be provisional. I wouldn't be able to position or crown a champion unless it is absolutely obvious. And we haven't arranged to do podium interviews or anything, unfortunately, but all being well, keep your eye on the socials for the Esports Masters League, of course, and they will announce both provisional and final results for everybody. I know you know your way there, but if you don't, then get onto X, onto Insta, here onto YouTube, and do your best to follow and support the team. While you're here, give us a like on the video, subscribe on the channel, and if you like the commentary, my name is Webbo. You can find me at WebboRed5. Most everywhere if you try, but that's and I think I put that handle actually in the description so far tonight. But all the same, we're getting ready to get underway. Here come the lights for the final round of the PSF2 Championship, and it's go Namsco and YCN for EXT get themselves away pretty cleanly so far, and there goes LDL's Nico into 3rd place straight away, exactly where he wants to be, as I think Mikas Kurji moves up a position. Wazaste Isolta goes up as well, with EXT now defending hard from Nico, who goes round the outside to try and get a good grip on the exit of the corner, and he's got a good grip on the exit, straight into 2nd position, splitting those EXT drivers, as there's a limit to what they can do now in defense. You don't necessarily want to be the lead car down into this turn 6 for the first time, as there's plenty of action happening, a potential 3-wide situation going into turn 6 as well. And hopping over the curb goes the rear wheel of Lucas. But up front, it's Nico leading from back on the second row. He's up into first position right from the outset. He's our top driver so far in the championship, and he's currently doing everything in his power to get the team up. Whether he decides to start backing EXT into Oni to allow Oni to close up later on in the race, that could be a factor to be determined. But Nico, Namsco, YCN are your order at the moment. Nordic Ninja already starting to drop slightly away from YCN, and with plenty of work to do here. He's got Oni right behind him. We could end up with all four championship contenders for the two teams in the top four very soon. But right now, it's 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second for Nico in the lead of Namsco as we start lap 2 and the cars race over the crest of turn 3 and 4. Before heading down into that hairpin corner, is there a move coming from Oni, or is he going to take his time and wait patiently here for an exit? This is on board with Oni. Acid was right with him on the rear. You could see him very close, but straight away Oni spending a little bit of battery. You can actually see it on his steering wheel how low that battery is already, because it's all important to get that track position situation down the order. The Ferraris are at the tail of the grid at the moment, but everybody is together as a long train of cars. Nico putting the distance already on the rest of the cars, and let's take a look at the tyres so far. Well, it's soft tyres for Oni, for Nico, and it's hard tyres for the team EXT. So their strategies are very, very clear and obvious. And as Xenon was telling us, the LDL manager here earlier in the pre-show, their tactics don't work unless they're at the front, in the front pack. And at the moment, they're in the front pack. They need a 1-2 to be absolutely certain of winning this championship, regardless of a 3-4 finish from Team EXT. But there is still plenty to do here. A mountain to climb. Lap 3 only of 29 here. As Nassim says, EXT on top. Absolutely. Good evening to Chess as well, and Fatal, who have joined us too in the chat. Fantastic to see so many avid fans here, and friends and family of the drivers and teams. So at the moment, Nico, Namsco, YCN and Oni are two teams, and we've got to turn round. We've got Warzasaste down for the Aston Martin QSL team, spinning in the tail of the grid as Namsco gets close to his teammate, is tempted to have a look at an opportunity. Remember, EXT, both cars on hard tyres, both LDL cars on the soft tyres, and you can see the difficulty that Oni has had here, draining the battery in the first couple of laps just to get himself into that top 4 position. Now he's on the defence, and DRS will be enabled very shortly. We've got Nordic Ninja in 5th. We've got Acid in 6th place, just behind Nordic Ninja. And then comes, within DRS, Lucas, Boyer, Killer Storm and Isolta here for the RVL team, P9 and 10. Pablo is looking good for the Haas DLX team. In 11th, we've got Oliver from Rising Lions in 12th, Polpara in 13th, Tigrex, Chelski, Mikas Kuje and Jerome for the Ferrari LRN, and Wazaste at the back of the grid after that little spin into the hairpin of turn 5. But we're into lap 4 now. We're snaking our way through in towards the hairpin, and YCN just hanging on to DRS detection. Is he? Well, I say that, and he's just missed, just popped out over 1 second. I think he's just got it, and they need to work together, Dynamsco and YCN, to hold on to that DRS and potentially to repel Oni and his ascendancy as Nordic Ninja comes for the move then down into turn 6. He makes a look down the inside, but he doesn't go for it. He's waiting, I think, for his exit of turn 7, but a little bit crossed up on the exit in the dirty air. He's looking for that opportunity. He's got the DRS open. The overspeed should make this a slam dunk. Round the outside he goes, and so does Acid behind. Acid will try and tackle Oni around the outside. Oni's got to tread very, very carefully, and he goes fully off the circuit, but so does Acid in attack and defense of the corner. I would imagine Lucas in the Williams behind is frowning somewhat at those tactics. Potentially, did they hold on to a position while off the circuit? We'll let the game and/or stewards decide that later on. Mika Skajay has gone on a 3-second time penalty for probably something very similar to what we just saw. It's all important, of course, to bail out the throttle once you're off track. YCN has caught right up to the front for EXT team and is right behind Nico. It looks like it's the crossover point here for the softs versus the hards. Down the inside, just behind on the DRS detection zone, goes the EXT car of the AlphaTauri, and a steered across goes Nico. It's cost himself a problem. He was ahead there, and it just potentially either lost the car or was trying to maximise his position. He's dropped all the way down to P17. Could that be the most deciding factor in this race, in this championship tonight, as Namsco and YCN now have the top of the standings? I think that Maxence's comment is late. That Xenon we were talking to earlier, I think his comment has come through slightly late on the broadcast, because I don't think he would be anywhere near as happy, as now Oni is dropping down. Oni is having issues here with the Nordic Ninja's ascendancy. Nordic Ninja also on the hard tyres. Those soft tyres are fading like bad cheese. Down the inside goes Acid as well. This is the lap. Lap 5 is just the most awful lap for the LDL team right now, as Acid has the inside line for the next 2 corners. He takes the position as well. Oni tries to get some momentum back here, but he can't do it. He's just losing places hand over fist. Those soft tyres have absolutely gone as early as lap 6, as early as lap 5, I should say, really. Absolutely crazy to see that issue for Nico, the fastest driver, the driver with the most consistent, best results, heading the driver's standings such as they are, and he's down in 17th position already. Absolutely crazy situation. I did not think we were going to see that happen so soon, but lost control of the car coming out of the hairpin. I will have to say, certainly that would be a kind way of putting it. Whether or not there was a deliberate steer across is another matter for the stewards to decide. Oni is trying to do his work, but he's caught up in traffic. Oni tries to turn across the nose of a driver, and unfortunately, he gets tagged as well. So Oni down into 13th position, could lose further places now to Choski, possibly even Polpara, as they are losing places. They really badly need a safety car, but they're not going to cause one themselves. It's not going to be a Crashgate situation, because they both need to gain. What a job on the cards here for LDL now. Could not be any worse right now, but Oliver gains a position into 8th and splits the McLarens, the RVL team, as we've got, as I say before, EXT on top here in 1st and 2nd positions. They didn't even need that result tonight to guarantee a championship victory, but it's looking more and more likely for them. Oni and Nico are 15th and 17th. They could actually get deposed by GT10 here. Acid and Boyer in 4th and 5th positions. If they can gain a position or 2 each, they will be in a position to gain that 2nd place in the championship. It's all important for these teams, as we get a nerf in the back of the Williams of Lucas from Killer Storm. That's not where you want to be, particularly close to another driver. Lucky for Lucas, he's got the DRS. Killer Storm doing what he can here to try and get down the inside into turn 6. He can claim the apex smartly. The Williams is still at the apex of turn 7, but he's not on the grippy side of the circuit. I think we've got a change for the lead happening again here. Namsco and YCN working together beautifully, just using the DRS, pass one, pass the other, lap after lap, and just try and drag each other forward through the progress of the race. They are 2.2 seconds ahead of the next team, led by Nordic Ninja, Team Rising Lions Nordic Ninja. And there goes Jeroen retiring from the race, and a full safety car has been called. Jeroen on the exit of turn 9 there, unfortunately, for our race, as the hard tyre shod drivers will not really be very happy with the timing of this pit stop. It will almost certainly commit them to 2 further stops, because they have to put on the mediums next, or the softs, but neither, I don't think, will last the distance here on a full pace race. So medium tyres, the order of the day. YCN has had to queue, of course. That means Nordic Ninja has gained a position as we get an unsafe release, but we'll forget about that because it's sim racing. But YCN is in P3 then, has lost a position to Nordic Ninja thanks to having to queue behind his teammate. Not the worst situation in the world, far better than to go round at safety car speed for a whole lap. But we have had a change of position now with YCN in third position. Everybody else putting on the medium tyres for this stint of the race. So most drivers will potentially have to pit again. I don't see the medium tyres doing 19 or 20 racing laps unless we have another safety car or caution period to just cool the temperatures all down again. Let's have a look then. After all has been said and done in this phase of the race, the first 8 laps, we can have a look at progress through the grid. Nordic Ninja up 1, of course, thanks to that pit stop. Queuing situation for YCN. Acid up 1, Killer Storm up 5 positions. Fantastic gain from him. Pablo up 2 with Isolta in 9th, up 5. Tigrex up 6, Chelsea up 2. And then, of course, we need to start talking about the drivers that have lost positions. Boya down just the 1, so has Mikas Koje, Pearl Para. But, of course, LDL down 6 and 13 positions so far in this race. Changes to their tyres, I'm sure. Right now, we've got some penalties on the board as well. Just 2 lots of 3-second penalties for Mikas Koje and for Oliver in 12th and 15th positions. But frankly, quite a lot of work to do. Oni and Nico have gone onto the hard tyres. They could potentially run those tyres to the end, but their restart is going to be problematic for them. But it's going to be all important then what happens in this restart procedure, whether we can have clean racing for a decent stint now, or whether we will see further caution periods. The grid have all caught up way before the cars reach the end of the final sector of this lap, but we will go for a minimum 2 safety car laps here, as the cars just overlapping one against another here as they just come through the timing sectors. And as I say, 16th and 17th for Nico and Oni. A second pit stop then for Oni for a fresh set of hards. Got nothing to lose at the back of the grid. Might as well gain an extra lap of performance, or drop another lap of deg off those hard tyres. Plenty of work for the drivers to do for tyre preparation, especially those running the hard tyres. Isolta, Oliver, Wazaste, Nico and Oni. Plenty of work they need to do on these laps now to generate tyre temperature, because those hard tyres, when they're cold, perform very, very badly for over a lap, usually at full racing conditions. And of course, in so doing, you can often find yourself spinning or losing grip at least, and losing positions or track position progress to the leader. So it is Namsco, Nordic Ninja and YCN, your top 3 as we finish out this first third of the race. A nice pause point here, really. I didn't see many people making predictions here for the podium, but of course now it's a different position for Team EXT. I'm sure they want to finish the season with a 1-2, but they don't have to. And will that enter their mind? I'm sure it's going to be at the very forefront of Nordic Ninja's mind, because he knows that these 2 drivers don't need to fight with him. They don't even need a win at this stage to guarantee the championship. So they are certainly going to be thinking about this one quite carefully. Mikas Koje just jumping up a few positions there under braking, I think. As we wait for Namsco to become the de facto safety car, we will get a restart underway shortly. I tend to like sitting with P3 for a restart, unless someone has gone for a soft set of tyres. Oh, that was a penalty. Was it for Nico? I think that was a penalty came up for Nico for a second. It was a 5-second penalty for Nico. That is huge for the championship, as well as Namsco restarts. YCN is right here with Nordic Ninja, and I'm pretty sure that YCN and Namsco only know one tactic here tonight, and that is full-blooded attack, as there don't look to be any major moves going on in the order. I just want to check out, while the cars get their way through the next few corners, whether Nico has picked up damage on the car in that sequence. I don't think so. But a 5-second collision penalty, it looks like he picked up as YCN has overtaken Nordic Ninja already into the hairpin. Nordic Ninja is level with him coming down the straight towards turn 6. Nordic Ninja leaning on the brakes and claiming the apex beautifully. The Williams fighting the McLaren as well further back, but we've got a switchback situation happening at the moment. Nordic Ninja getting his position back after losing it in the hairpin, and here is YCN then trying to use the slipstream. That's all he's got available to him. About half the battery is already gone after the restart, but Namsko then trying to drift away here, and we've got Acid also on the chase. Lucas has dropped 2 seconds to GT10's Acid, so a gap already opening between the front 4 and the rest of the field. Kind of crazy to see that already in this position. Boyer is not going to be happy, and he's going to try and get it back in amongst it and get past Lucas at the earliest opportunity. Crossing the line then for new fastest laps from the drivers on the restart. That's no mean feat by any stretch of the imagination. YCN could really do without GT10's Acid getting in amongst this championship battle. It's lap 11 of 29, and EXT at the moment one hand on the championship after entering this race, 9 points clear of LDL. And LDL currently riding 14th and 15th with a 5-second penalty on Nico's car. It could end up getting rescinded, but you've got to call what you see from the commentary box here. And we'll deal with any post-race penalty removals as happened from the previous race. We'll deal with them on social media after the event. But Namsko, Nordic Ninja, YCN, and now Acid right with them. And as I say, Acid could really play a bit of a spoiler here in the game. YCN and Namsko, without that safety car, would still be 1 and 2, and probably gapping the field as they were at the start of this stint. Medium tyres for the majority of the grids. The only real thing that could help LDL at this stage is being able to save another pit stop if there is no further caution period at a convenient moment there to pit. YCN 1/4 of a second behind Nordic Ninja in that 3rd position, but keeping an eye on his mirrors as well. You can see from behind just that Acid is not too far back. He's just dropped a little bit, as I think YCN should now be within range, but unfortunately for him, Nordic Ninja will still have the DRS on the car in front as YCN goes for a beautiful move down into the open gap that was there at the apex into the hairpin, and now rolls reverse from before. A little kiss on the tyres, sidewall to sidewall they go. Nordic Ninja will try and crowd out the braking position, and he does so with that DRS, with the slipstream from the car in front. I'm pretty sure there was a little touch between friends there. Nordic Ninja in a very vulnerable position, stuck as the meat between two pieces of bread in a sandwich, as now we've got Nordic Ninja. Actually, he's going to be gunning for first position. Sweeps around the outside, does he? Waiting for the camera to catch up, and he doesn't quite make it as Namsko holds on for now. Very, very tight driving. Mays says great driving. I have to agree. And into the hotel section they go. Many different lines being tried here by the contenders for the win and the podium here. Maxence says, honestly, I don't think he's happy down there, unfortunately. And as they run out of the final corner to start lap 13, we're nearing halfway distance of the race. Namsko, Nordic Ninja, YCN and Acid 2.4 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Mikas Koje goes into the pits for a 5-second penalty and promptly retires. That was a bonsai move into the pits. You often see it when a driver has had enough or can't cope with the damage anymore. As here comes Nordic Ninja then. He will have the DRS profit. He will have a little bit of electrical energy to deploy, but it looks like 30% or less for the Alfa Romeo driver. Oh, YCN closes on the brakes. Another little tiny touch between the two of them, and he really needs Namsko to blend out of the throttle now and give him a slipstream, because here comes Nordic Ninja back again, once again. Nordic Ninja down the inside this time. Can he hang on? He's got the overspeed, he's got the route to the apex, and he takes that position back, and that was well held by both of them, almost touching with YCN's front wing on the rear wheel of Nordic Ninja. They are playing this game incredibly tight. EXT pushing perhaps a little bit harder than they need to tonight. They don't need a 1-3, a 1-2. They don't, at this stage, need a 1-4. They just need to finish within 9 points of the LDL team to secure the championship provisionally, at least. So they might want to just have a word in YCN's ear and remind him of the championship, and that it could be all over if we have contact between these three cars. So Acid will be hoping that happens in P4, but trying to work his way forward as well under his own steam. Lap 14 of 29. Quite a few penalties on the board with the stakes raised to this level here today. Drivers are making mistakes. Drivers are going wide. Here comes Nordic Ninja to the outside into turn 6. He's kind of in no man's land out there, but he tries to hold on. He claims the apex of 7. He'll be on the low grip exit area, and then Namsco will have the opportunity to switch back again, use a little bit of ERS. Acid down the inside behind them of YCN, sweeping around the outside goes Namsco. Nordic Ninja, YCN trying to hold on around the outside as well of the Mercedes. Nordic Ninja ahead, but he's on the outside. Can he hold on down into turn 12? Surely these cars can't all go into turn 12 together and make it out the other end. Acid has got his elbows out, a little hip check on the apex, and he claims the Latifi corner exit for his own. Up to third position now, goes Acid, and May says he has a feeling this ain't over yet. Well, absolutely. We're waiting for the fat lady to sing. We're waiting for the checkered flag, but there's plenty of racing happening in between all the same. 2 seconds now, the gap to P5. And Boyer has taken that P5 away from Lucas. Pablo has followed him through. So we could end up with GT10 in the mix as well. Quality throughout the front half of this field, who have pushed themselves into a clear split from the rear half of the championship at this stage. That's not to disrespect any of the drivers in the lower half of the league, of course, but it is just a reality of the point situation so far. Nordic Ninja leads us then on lap 15 for Rising Lions ahead of Namsco, Acid and YCN, with Boyer trying to find his way to make this a top 5, but he's got the difficulty of dragging 2 other cars along with him and not being able to put a gap down on those cars at all. Or he hasn't also got Acid to use to bring him forward either, much like a peloton rider in the Tour de France. Nordic Ninja is in the lead by nearly 0.2 of a second now. In underneath the hotel we go. Fabulous camera angle now. I always love the helicopter shots when you're watching a large battle as the cars thread their way around the Yas Marina circuit. And there goes a penalty for Tigrex, a penalty for Isiltar as we go then to start lap 16. It's calming down a little bit all of a sudden. The drivers 8 laps into their stint on the medium tyres, starting to tread a little bit more carefully and bide their time, harvest their ERS potentially, and apply pressure but not go for the moves. Oni is in 11th position now. Remember, those LDL drivers are not down and out yet. They have hard tyres on, should make the end of the race if we go at full racing speed. If it's green flag to the finish, they'll be saving a pit stop potentially, or at least having fantastic tyres at the end of the race compared to everybody else. Down into turn 6 as Acid closes under braking. Very, very tight between the top 4 at the moment. Namsco with the DRS. The second bite of the DRS cherry. A little bit of ERS to get the nose and tail ahead. And takes the lead again, this time into turn 9. And Namsco back where he was earlier on. YCN doing what's required here for the team, but he's got some plenty of racing he would like to do. If they weren't going for this championship, I think YCN would be being a little bit more aggressive here. But as things stand, things are looking really good for the EXT team, especially now that Namsco has just taken the lead of the race. Coming out to finish 16, start 17, Namsco, Nordic Ninja, Acid and YCN in that order now. And it is changing lap after lap here. 0.6 of a second was the gap at the front. Will it be enough to stop the DRS at the end of this detection point on the braking zone into Turn 5, no, it will not be enough. 0.4 of a second it is now. So the first car with the DRS profit will be Nordic Ninja, but it looks like YCN has got the best exit of the group. Nordic Ninja looking for a late move potentially down into. Oh, he puts a squeeze on the braking zone there. I'm not sure he left a full car's width to the track surface. And you could see Namsco looking a little bit nervous as Nordic Ninja just came across his braking zone slightly. Both cars had started to brake. Namsco takes the inside line. That's the power position in these situations where the least can go wrong if you hold the inside line. And then you could see Acid put just slightly offline, just half a car's width off the racing line. And suddenly YCN is back right in the hunt here and looking to get himself into third position for the EXT team. Try and get a double podium at very least out of this. But as I said before, these drivers know that a win is not required as Maxence Zenon is cheering his team on. Come on, come forward, LDL. I would love to see LDL move forward as well, if only just for the pleasure of watching from a neutral's perspective here. The two title contenders go at it. Fairly on the track. They were together earlier on, let's not forget, but contact on the exit of the hairpin, just this corner, contact on the exit, did not go the way of LDL's fortune. Now, up into third position goes YCN. He will get DRS as well on the car in front, which is now his teammate, so they can perhaps start to relax a little bit. Namsco can go full on attack here because he knows his teammate isn't going to run into him in a clumsy attempt at a last-minute dive bomb, at least. But unfortunately, sometimes the following teammate has to go on a different line just because he needs to avoid him. EXT's Fatal says, Vamos, Alex Namsco and YTN. He's mixing up. Mixing languages here, I think. There's a little bit of French and a little bit of Spanish in there, potentially. Anyway, YCN P3, Nordic Ninja now P2 as Namsco gets ahead. Just treading carefully on the exit of Latifi corner there. Might have just tripped up over a track limit warning. That could really turn this podium on its head. Turning it on its head, though, is also Nordic Ninja just struggling out of the corner. Possibly a late correction there by YCN to try and avoid contact or minimize contact as going wide goes Acid. Are the medium tyres dropping off? We've just seen two fairly unusual mistakes from both Nordic Ninja and from Acid coming into this lap 19. So I wonder if those medium tyres are starting to let go. They are a decent. Let's have a look at the gap to leader from LDL. They're only 10 seconds away, +5 for Nico. And 16 seconds. So a full speed pit stop still brings them into the podium positions here. GT10 looking for an opportunity to just pinch a position or two on the way through as they navigate that turn 6 and 7 very clumsily. Namsco has entered a massive lead now, and in fact, I think for his teammates' sake, could do a favour. Was that contact? Potentially. It looked like Acid just tagging the EXT car and having to then duck out to the overrun on the exit of the corner on the tarmac runoff as we get a yellow flag now in the sector just behind the leaders. It's gone back to green, thankfully. Most of the drivers still on the same half lap here. Such is the competitive level. That is Boyer being released by his teammate Acid. I think Acid into the pits now, coming off those medium tyres. That's even more of an indication that the medium tyres have let go on him. Now have YCN, well, YCN runs wide as well. Have EXT reserved enough tyres to defend the undercut here potentially from Acid, who goes in, and you can see where Acid is coming out into 14th position on new medium tyres with 9 racing laps left to run once he exits the pits. We have about 9.5 laps for the leaders to go here now. It's Namsco and YCN, but YCN only just ahead of Nordic Ninja. The field is spread out slightly at the front, but Boyer, Pablo and Lucas have slowly but surely managed to catch these drivers here in the podium hunt. Just keep your eye there on Acid. He's now in 14th, has dropped behind both LDL cars. So with the pit stop due, potentially that could still be the case. Could the drivers get 1 or 2 more laps out of the medium tyres? If so, the soft tyres will buy them a huge advantage at the end of the race against the hard tyres of LDL. We could still have another safety car where it would reset everybody's strategies again, but the chances are reducing at this stage. Again, running onto the white lines goes YCN, struggling to adjust to these degrading medium tyres. We've seen a couple of mistakes from YCN, but it looks like he's got better lap time overall than Nordic Ninja down there in 3rd position now, as the gaps, as I say, have just opened up slightly. We might see some racing further down in the pack, but I don't want to miss a potential mistake. And there is one. There is Acid, fresh out of his fresh out of the box on new tyres, and he trips over a track limit penalty and picks up a 3-second penalty. Back into the pits goes Acid? Really? Onto soft tyres now. I wonder if that was one of those pit stop glitches that just occurred. No, he hit the front nose off. He's having a full change. So GT10's challenge. Oh, wow. Boyer just held a 4-wheel drift into the corner as he was kind of forced into going for a move. There goes the EXT team going through as we've got Coutinho saying interesting tactics from EXT. Please elaborate, Coutinho. What do you mean by that? Why are you surprised by their tactics here? They're leading from the front. They're trying to get through to the soft tyre window at the end of this race, which will be opening very shortly, I think, as Namsco 1.9 seconds in the lead. They're trying to defend the huge mammoth undercut that a one-stopping LDL team will be able to action. They could, of course, play spoiler and just hold up the rest of the field. But they're within range here to take back the podium positions, staying on those hard tyres. We've got Wazaste and Oliver ahead of them on track by about 5 seconds. Don't count out Oliver here either. He's the lead driver on those hard tyres. He's got a penalty on the car, but he's got a good gap to the cars that are the net leaders at this stage of the race. 1.6 seconds, the lead for YCN. He's now got, for Namsco, YCN has got a 2-second gap to the car behind, which is Nordic Ninja. Boyer is white with Nordic Ninja now as well, and it maybe has treated those tyres a little bit gentler in the first part of this stint. I'm expecting pit stops to come, but maybe they decide that track position is king. Maybe EXT decide that running these medium tyres to the canvas is better than having to overtake their rivals in the championship. Boyer goes into 3rd now, and he looks like he's not reserving tyres. He's pushing hard. We'll see if there is a pit stop coming from the lead pair or from any of these medium drivers in the top 7 positions. But is it possible? Could they potentially get these mediums to the very end of the race? If they don't stop soon for soft tyres, that will obviously be their tactic. Of course, you can always stop for soft tyres as long as you haven't lost too much time in the intermediate procedure. We've got Boyer 3rd, Nordic Ninja 4th, Pablo showing incredibly well here for the DLX team in 5th, and his teammate is in 7th as well. So can they all limp home on worn, difficult medium tyres, I wonder? And will they drop off a cliff with 2 laps to go as well and have made the wrong decision? Some might say that one decision that they could make, EXT, is to split the strategy. One driver to stop for softs, one to hang out there on the mediums. But if they're convinced they can do it, they will both do the right thing. Here goes Nordic Ninja to the inside, looking for a better angle from the F123 sim at the moment, as they don't quite get it. Fatal says EXT are on fire, I think, is the indication from what he's saying. The Williams of Lucas trying to get up the inside there of Boyer, who's on the good traction exit of turn 9 and the inside line for the next 2 corners. But wow, fantastic stuff from Lucas round the outside. A very well prepared move, and Lucas into 5th place now for the team G-Force out there in 5th position. Teammate Paul Parrott down in 16th at the moment. So the lone Team G-Force driver up here fighting for the big points. It's lap 24 of 29. We have just over five laps to go before we will finish our second season here for PSF2. I hope you're staying with us through the qualifying of PSF1, which is going to be starting very soon. Or if you've got two devices, most people have got two devices, stick that on as well. But don't go away, because we've only got a few laps to go before we do crown our provisional champions at very least. And it looks like EXT are in a fantastic position. Here comes the Haas then of Pablo, the next one to attack Nordic Ninja. We haven't seen this very much before at all. The Haas fighting hard for DLX and taking the position. That was clean from Pablo. And certainly no slouch out there. So Pablo up into third position. Nordic Ninja wrong-footed slightly. Will the Williams of Lucas launch one into turn 9? No, he's going to just bide his time a little bit. It looks to me like Nordic Ninja is very much limping home here and has used his tyres too much to finish the race. Maybe made the same assumption I did, that everyone would two-stop this, that stopped under the first safety car and sprinted the middle sector of the race rather than built the speed towards the end of his stint. As it looks like Lucas, it looks like the DLX, it looks like certainly Pablo for DLX is doing. We know that Boyer's had a couple of issues there. He's got onto the tail of this group. He got released from his teammate pitting, but he's still in 6th place at the moment and can't really seem to get the traction out of the corners. Looks like it is the hard to medium runners that are profiting from that early safety car on lap 8. As things stand, 1.8 seconds the lead for Namsco over YCN, and then a gap of 4.2 seconds to this group on screen at the moment. And we're looking for a move to come potentially. Lucas moving around in the braking zone to try and find a way through. He might open the door doing that kind of thing to the Boyer GT10 car behind the Mercedes as they look to slipstream their way all the way down the banana straight down towards turn 9. And down the inside tries Nordic Ninja here. Pablo will try and hang on, but Nordic Ninja forcefully and cleanly manages to make his way back through and into the position. And unfortunately, there's a Williams contacting the Haas, and that is absolutely heartbreaking, quite frankly, because Pablo has put up a fantastic battle so far, and I don't think anyone could claim any fault of his there in that incident. So, unfortunately, tagged and spun from Lucas's Williams. Having a look down the inside, who four-wheel drifts his way through the final corner, picks up a 5-second penalty. It was that Boyer picking that up for cutting the corner, and it is Boyer with a 10-second accrual of penalties so far. That's pretty huge for him. We have 4 laps to run. Just under 4 laps, I should say. To run for the drivers, and it does look like our leaders are going to try and make this run work. This is going to be a 23-lap medium stint, which is astonishing, quite frankly. Amazing stuff. So Namsco right up there. We've got Oliver, as I said before, one to watch if the drivers in front were going to pit, but at the moment he's holding off Wazaste right now for QSL, but it's getting harder and harder a job to do because Wazaste is right on the back of him as they go through turn 9 here. This is the closest battle on the grid, and Oliver's tyres are letting go on the exit of the corner. That big wiggle was enough for Wazaste to push, and there is Oliver just rescuing the car. Well held, sir, but unfortunately falls behind the McLaren, behind the 2 Red Bulls as well, and will have tyres that are not fit for fighting at this stage. Through Latifi they go, and LDL now into 9th and 10th positions. Absolutely not enough here, but they're close enough should the leaders have to pit. I'm fully expecting them, though, to run this to a finish. Boyer has a plus 10 second on his car in 4th. Tigrex has a plus 11 second on his car, I believe, as well. So a bit of a mixture going to happen here beyond the podium positions. Nordic Ninja well away at the moment from Boya and clearing away on the provisional podium at this time. And remember, he qualified up there as well. So he qualified up on the second row of the grid. So he's exactly where he deserves to be. Quite frankly, we've got Oni and Nico swapping positions. Remember, Nico with the 5-second penalty, so that's not going to help LDL move forward if he finishes in front. They'll try now to slipstream their way forward in the grid if they can. Just take turns on the DRS as they're doing. All they can do is try and finish this race at the fastest possible time and rely on other people making mistakes now. Can our former championship leaders no longer from round 9 onwards, LDL have unfortunately lost it in the final 2 races, it seems. 9 points they were to the deficit of EXT at the start of this race. It's going to be an awful lot more than that come the end. And unfortunately, the much anticipated battle that looked like it was going to be on in the start of this race has not come to fruition for EXT versus LDL. It could even be, I would say it could be GT10 on second position in the championship, but I don't think so now with that plus 10-second penalty on Boya's car and the positioning of Acid down in 14th position, plus 3 seconds. So plenty still of points for LDL to gain versus GT10 in defence of their second position of the championship. But they won't take much comfort from that. Not this night, not this week even. Maybe next week they'll start to think, actually, that was a good result for the team. But tonight, their hearts will be broken, I'm sure. Lap 28 of 29. Duncan says total domination. It could have been very different. Let's not forget the events of the first couple of laps. It could have been a very different situation. But yes, EXT are doing this. It's what you want your champions to do, I think, is to come to the fore at the end of a season, to win the season, to win the race at the last finishing positions as well. I wonder if we will see a formation finish for the 2 EXT team drivers. It looks like they're shaping up that way. This is now the final lap, the victory lap potentially for the EXT team. They will be screaming at me watching not to jinx it. I know we'll do my level best, but they are clearly away in the lead of the race. They are 1.2 seconds separated, but they are 10 seconds away from third position. They have tiptoed their way round to run, let me just get this exactly right, a 22-lap stint on the medium tyres from an early pit stop, thanks in no small part to fitting the hard tyres at the start of the race. They deliberately gave up grip at the start of this race in order to be strong at the end. And is that a metaphor potentially for their championship, I wonder? They were not the best at the start of this season, but when it matters, Team EXT have come forward. They have taken the lead in the championship in round 9 of 10. They are going to win and come second in this race to secure the championship for PSF2. Team EXT are the champions of the PSF2 League for Esports Masters. Congratulations to them. What a tremendous performance season long and in this race particularly. But here comes Nordic Ninja to cross the line in third. Great result for Nordic Ninja. I don't think Boyer will finish exactly where he is. Pablo will jump up to fourth. Pablo in fourth, and that is a relief, honestly, because he was unjustly tagged by Lucas earlier on. Fourth position for Pablo. Lucas in fifth. Only brought the car home for LDL in 6th place. Then we sought out these post-race penalties of Wazastes in 7th. Boyer down to 8th. Nico in 9th. We've got Tigrex in 10th position after all those penalties came through. Chelsky, Oliver, Isolta, Acid, Killer Storm and Polpara finished. Both Ferraris unfortunately did not. But here they are, the EXT drivers together for the fantastic finale of the season. No arguments as to who has won this. There will be no steward decisions that can deny Team EXT winning by over 10 seconds. Tremendous stuff. Congratulations to Exostea. And a well-run and hard-fought race. I hope not too many people leave the lobby on me, because I will be struggling to get through the results if the lobby closes. But Fatal is happy. There's a lot of EXT love out there. Let's raise your glass and congratulate LDL for a tough fought battle, for a driver of the day performance from Oni as well. But let's doff our cap to and chapeau to LDL for a hard-fought season. But on the night, and the final 2 races of the season even, it was all about Exostea. Namsco will lift the trophy. I don't know if that affects our fairly academic Drivers' Championship situation, or whether Nico will still hold on to the championship lead there, come what may, at the end of the season. Nordic Ninja, shout out to him for a great performance. But I think every driver not in the AlphaTauri white and blue will be a little bit disappointed with the gap from there. We will see, I'm sure, EXT represented in F1 next year. We see Namsco and EXT winning the race. 43-minute, 52-second race thanks to that one safety car. And then a 10.8-second gap to Nordic Ninja in P3. Pablo in P4. And then comes Lucas and Oni, Warzaste and Boya in 7th and 8th. Nico in 9th. Tigretz in 10th. Chelsky, Oliver, Acid and Killer Storm. We have Polpara, Isolta, not finishing there, but Polpara had the fastest lap mathematically. Isolta in 16th, Mikas Koje and Jeroen also then not finishing. The DNFs for Ferrari, for LRN. But what a breathless, fantastic season. I've been privileged to take part in this for the final, 4 of the final 5 races. I've been absolutely enjoying it. I hope you've enjoyed what we've brought to you here from a broadcast perspective. Thanks to League Racing TV for providing the channel. Thanks to Esports Masters League, of course, to Maze, the boss, to our host tonight, who was from the GT10 team. Congratulations, EXT. Commiserations, LDL, and the rest. This has been Webbo. This has been the Esports Masters League F2 season finale. We will see you next season. For now, though, thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.